Hello and welcome to Intermediate Module A, Class B. As previously mentioned in Class A, this module is an evolution from Beginners Module A, which went to Beginners Module B and brings us here today. It's a little bit different in that it's a training and there are 4 practices that need to be done every single week for the next month or however long it takes you to integrate these practices and these openings into your life. And we need a timer, something to purchase, so that when you print out the practice sheets that I've gifted to you below underneath this video, copy, paste, print, practice B, you'll be eventually able to practice on your own. And that's what makes it a training. In an individual class, we give details, we have themes, and here we've entered training, where you are making sure that every day you're coming to the practices and seeing how that feels through the various ups and downs of life, keeping that steadiness. We're creating a kind of backbone to our days, to our weeks, to our months, to our lives. So gathering your yoga kit, and let's come and start this practice together. Here we are, entering this sacred space, this heart, breath, peace and clarity space. Let's start by rolling the front shoulders back and bringing attention and lift and brightening to the sternum plate. Gently closing the eyelids and keeping the attention on the sternum plate. Allow the eyeballs to move backwards towards the back of the skull. And from the back of the skull, gaze at the back of the sternum plate. And now lifting the hands up and pressing the palms together and opening our practice together with one more. Inhale. Then releasing the hands, the eyelids opening, and we are ready to begin. So in this module, we're coming straight to the front of the mat for hanging Uttanasana into our variation of Surya namaskar, building up arm strength with planks and ardha chaturangas. So spread the feet the width of the mat and the heels slightly out, hands on the hips, elbows back, sternum plate lifting, and exhaling forward, finding hanging Uttanasana. Holding those upper arms and pulling the elbows towards the ground. The feet firm and broad. The kneecaps lifting, the quadricep muscles lifting, the inner groins rolling back. And the head hanging completely. And now placing the hands on the mat, spreading the palms, spreading the fingers apart, and stepping back to our first plank pose. Look at the inner elbows and roll the upper arms away from each other so the inner elbows are facing forward, the shoulders are broad. And with an exhale, push down the length of the legs, firm up. Preparing for Ardha Chaturanga, bending the knees to the ground, lifting the belly button up. Scoop the outer elbows in. Exhale. Front shoulders lifting. Keep lifting the belly button, squeezing the elbows in as we push up. Ardha Mukha Svanasana with heels lifted and bent knees. Lift the heels as high as they can go so you feel the joints of the toes. Stretching the arms. And with an exhale, straightening the legs, keeping the heels lifted, full extension, going beyond the boundaries of our skin, And then stepping the right leg forward and propelling ourselves forward and backwards as we press the buttocks down, opening the thighs, the groins, and then the back knee to the ground. Seeing if we can come down to the forearms. Soft, smooth inhalations and exhalations. Pressing the hips down to the ground. And then back up onto the hands, preparing to step back to plank pose. Spread the fingers widely, turn the back toes under, and stepping back. Firmness everywhere, sharpness in elbows facing forward. Then bending the knees, preparing Ardha Chaturanga, scoop the elbows in, exhale. Lift the belly button up, don't let the gut fall. Have it support the lower back. And back up. Ardha Mukha Svanasana, bent knees, heels lifted. Relax the neck, relax the face. Keep sending the breath everywhere. And then straightening the legs. And engaging the power of those front thighs, pushing them back, feeling the weight of the pose move back. And then stepping the left leg forward to a nice wide lunge. Rocking forward and backwards. Deepening the buttocks down. And then bending the back knee. And seeing if we can come even lower onto the forearms. Soft, smooth inhalations and exhalations. Don't let the shoulders hunch up towards the ears. Keep the face soft. Pressing those hips down. And then back up onto the hands. Spreading the palms, spreading the fingers, turning the back toes under, straightening the leg, plank pose, stepping back. Immediately become sharp. Make sure you're not dipping the buttocks down like this, or lifting the buttocks up and cheating. Now Ardha Chaturanga, bend the knees, scoop the elbows in, inhale, exhale. Don't let the front shoulders collapse, lift them up. Shoulder blades going down the back. Sternum plate moving forward. Squeeze the elbows as you come back up. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Bent knees, heels lifted. High. Buttocks lifted. Stretch the arms and open the armpits. Straighten the legs. Squeeze the knees. Push the entire front part of the leg backwards. Now find the upper back and press the shoulder blades in, pump them in to open the armpits, to open the chest. And 2. And 1. Stepping forward, feet the width of the mat. Turning the toes in, the heels out. Hanging Uttanasana. After all that effort, make sure the face is completely relaxed. At the back of the neck is as long as possible, the crown of the head going towards the floor. Feeling the feet, both feet, evenly. Looking at the knees, gripping the knees up. Looking at the inner knees, gripping the inner knees up to the inner groins. Rolling the inner groins back. And giving one last pull with the hands on the elbows. And 2. And 1. Bring the hands onto the hips. Elbows back. Press into the feet. Inhale up. Squeeze the thighs up. Lift the chest to the sky. And then stepping the feet together. Tadasana. Centralize, neutralize, relax the face. And we are ready to continue with our standing poses. Standing in the middle of the mat, facing the long edge of the mat, reconnecting with the energy of Tadasana. Simplify Virasana. Lifting the arms, interlocking the fingers, turning the palms out, and inhale and lifting. Stretching the arms up, pushing the feet down. Sacrum moving towards the heels, pubic bone lifting, arms stretching. And 3, and 2, and 1. Bring the arms halfway down. Changing the interlock. Stretching the arms straight. Trapezius muscles down, feet firm. Inhale, lifting. Simplify Virasana. Make sure you're not overarching the lower back. Keep the heels extra firm and connect the sacrum to the heels. Suck the front thighs up, the pubic bone lifting, the armpits stretching, pushing up through the heels of the hands. And 2, and 1. Coming back down. And Tadasana. Lift the sternum blade. Breathe. Full Virasana. Lifting the right foot up. Placing it, you can always use the wall if you still feel really unsteady here. Arms up, interlock the fingers. And lifting up, pressing down to lift up. Keep pressing the sole of the foot against the inner thigh and pressing the inner thigh back against the sole of the foot. Let the arms be powerful. Let them lift the armpits up. Let them lift the kidneys up. And 3, and 2, and 1. Arms down. Tadasana. Centralize your weight on both of the feet again. And changing sides. Lifting the left leg up. Nice and high. Bring the arms in front. Interlock. Turn out and lift. Press down to lift up. Trying to move the inner knee open. Keep squeezing the elbows straight, as if the hands were pressing against the ceiling, lifting up. Breathing. Feel lightness coming. And 2, and 1. Coming back down. And releasing. Tadasana. And now it's time for Supta Virasana. So ready? Bending and jumping. Going really wide. Turning that right foot open. Checking that the back foot is turned in a little bit and we're pushing into the outside edge of the foot. Lift the chest. Inhale. Exhale. And find Supta Virasana. Stabilize the pose through the back leg, starting with the outside edge of the foot, traveling up the leg, adjusting as needed. And then strongly move the front buttock forward so that as we twist, we're twisting from the base of the trunk. Stretch the arms apart. Inhaling up and turning to the left hand side. Check that the back foot is turned in a little bit, pushing into the outside edge of the foot. Grip the front leg up. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale. Supta Virasana. Stabilize the pose from the back leg. Travel there. Feel, adjust. And now strongly move that front buttock going forward as we turn and twist, so that the base of the trunk is twisting and the rest unfolds from there. Stretch the arms apart. And now inhaling up, turning the feet in and jumping the feet together. Tadasana. Preparing to jump for Virabhadrasana 2. And jumping. Really wide so that when we bend that front knee, we're at a 90-degree angle. The front thigh wants to be parallel to the floor when it's bent. Turn the back foot in a little bit.
Make the back arms stronger. Inhale. Exhale. Make a square. Check with your eyes the front of that thigh. Is it really parallel to the ground? Check that your back arm is pulling the organs back, and turn the front head over the arm. Keep squeezing that back inner knee, pushing into the outside edge of the back foot. Preparing to come up, inhale, and turning to the other side. Turn the back foot in. Grip the front thigh up. Have that width between the legs. Make the back arms stronger. Inhale. Exhale, make a square. Check that you have this angle, this flatness to the thigh here. Check that you're pushing into the outside edge of the back foot. Squeeze the back inner knee. And the organs should be being pulled out the length of that back arm as we turn the head forward. And preparing to come up. Inhale, turn the feet in, and jump the feet together. Savasana. Centralize, neutralize, relax the eyeballs. Okay, continuing with this heat, with this strengthening. Time for Konasana. Jumping out. The same width. Turning to the right. Lift the chest. Inhale. Exhale, make a square. Inhale. Exhale, windmill down. The fingertips on the floor are light. Now turn this top arm. And exhale, extend the arm over. Konasana, full pose. Push that right buttock bone forward as we turn and twist, so that as much as possible the base of the trunk is twisting and the rest is unfolding from that. Push into the back foot, push into the top arm, and 3, and 2, and 1. Preparing to come up. Inhale, firmness, and turning to the left hand side. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. The fingertips light. Turning the top arm. And extending the arm over. Each exhale, turning to the sky. Pushing that front buttock bone forward, don't let it poke out. So the base of the trunk turns, and then the rest spirals and follows that. Push into the outside edge of the back foot. Stretch that top arm. And 3, and 2, and 1. Inhale. Turn the feet in. And jump the feet together. Finding both of the heels, shoulders rolled back, chest lifted. And bending the knees, lifting the arms, preparing to jump for Virabhadasana 1. Roll the arms, turn, extend, lift the chest, press into the feet to lift the arms up, and cross one thumb over the other and re-stretch the arms to re-lift the chest. Turning to the right. Back thigh rolling in, arms lifting up, tailbone moving forward. Inhale and exhale, bend the knee. As deeply as we can. Absorb that femur bone into the front hip socket. Roll the back thigh in more and more. Bolt the outer hips for firmness in the lumbar. Move the tailbone forward again. And use the arms to lift and lengthen the front spine. Feel the skin stretching. Lift, lift, lift. And 3, and 2, and 1. Inhale, straightening the front leg. Turning back through the middle. Checking the feet. Changing the cross of the thumbs behind. Inhale, re-reaching the arms up. And turning to the left. Roll the back thigh in, stretch the arms. Move the tailbone forward. Inhale, and exhale, bend that front knee. Absorb that front femur bone into the hip socket. Keep turning the back thigh in to help the hips turn. Now bolt the outer hips together for firmness. Move the tailbone forward and use the arms to pull and lift and lengthen more than you thought possible. That's it, lifting up. And 3, and 2, and 1. Inhale, straightening, coming back through the middle. Relift, extend. Turn the palms in. And jump the feet together. Tadasana. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation. Don't let the sternum chest collapse as we get tired. Keep rolling those front shoulders back. The face quiet. And it's now time for Parshvattanasana, full pose. So, jumping out. And bringing the arms behind and finding that inverted namaskar. And if that's not yet available, you can hold onto the upper arms behind you with your hands. Elbows back. Press the dorsal spine forward, lift the chest. Preparing to go to the right. Inhale. Exhaling. Leading with the cellular chest. Keep both of the heels firm. Grip the thighs up. So there's a sharpness in the roots of the thighs. Keep lifting the elbows. Keep relaxing the neck, the head. Keep gripping the muscles around the leg bones. Breathing as smoothly and as evenly as possible, penetrating with that breath everywhere. And then pressing into the feet, inhaling up. And turning back through the middle. Readjust the hands as needed. Elbows back, chest lifting. Turning to the left. Inhale, firm the legs. Exhale, leading with the cellular chest. Keep gripping the legs as you come down. Pressing the heels down firmly into the mat. The roots of the thighs sharpening with every breath. Sending your attention around the pose. Adjusting as you can, where you can. Elbows lifting. The face completely passive. Breathing. Pressing into the feet, preparing to lift up. Inhale. Coming back through the middle. Releasing the hands. Widening the feet apart, turning the toes in, the heels out. Gripping the legs, elbows back, chest lifted. Parasvarita. Coming forward. Stage 1, hands underneath the shoulders. Re-grip the legs. Press the back ribs in. And press into the fingertips to move the cellular chest forward. And then exhaling the head down. and finding stage 2 of Prasarita Padottanasana. The forearms are perpendicular to the floor and the outer elbows are scooping in towards each other like in our Ardha Chaturangas. As we press down into the hands, we lift the shoulders up and relax the head and neck again. Keep lifting the shoulders up and re-relaxing the cervical spine. The heels are, of course, firm. The outside edges of the feet are pressing down. And the knees and thighs are gripped up so that the femur bone heads are coming in, are penetrating into the hip sockets, the inner groins rolling back. Smooth and even breath, and through the breath, traveling through the pose. Expanding that mindfulness, that attention. And then placing the hands on the hips. Elbows back, press into the feet. Lifting up, elbows back. Grip the legs up. Lift the cellular chest. And then releasing. And jumping the feet together. Talasana. Excellent work. We're now going to the wall for Padikasana side stretches. Preparation 1 and 2. Ready for the magic of Padikasana. So starting with our left knee bent and our right leg extended to the wall, making sure that you come in all the way with the sole of the foot and that this knee is still underneath the left hip, not out to the side. Hips facing forward, grip this leg up and roll the thigh open so the kneecap faces the sky. Chest lifting, elbows back. And when we're ready, inhale the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Palms together, cross one thumb over the other. Re-lift with the inhale. And exhale, Padikasana. Finding the wall, if possible. If the top hand isn't yet on the wall, don't worry. It'll come with time. If you can, get the bottom hand closer towards the foot and the top hand will come over even more. Push the left hip away from the wall and pull the right femur bone into the hip socket. Now with your next exhale, try to push that front buttock bone forward and from there, turn and twist. Move that top hand back, twisting, rotating, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, one more, and 1. Inhaling up. And exhale, release. Changing sides. Right knee bent. Left leg extended, making sure that we have the entire base of the foot against the wall and that the right knee is underneath the right hip. Roll this front thigh open, grip the legs so the kneecap faces the sky. Hips facing forward. Elbows back, chest lifting. Urdhva Hastasana. Inhale the arms up. Palms together, cross the thumbs. Re-inhale and lift. And exhaling over, Padikasana. The palms still face each other even though the hands are apart. Push the fingertips into the wall to help you push the right hip even further away from the wall as you twist and as you absorb the left femur bone into the hip socket firmly. And then with your exhale, push that front buttock bone forward and begin to turn and twist with each exhale over and over again, walking the top hand back if you can. And 5, and 4, and again, 3, and 2, turn the back ribs, and 1. Inhaling up. And exhale, releasing. Excellent, so stay facing the same side. Let's come to preparation 1, which we always do after preparation 2, oddly enough. So left knee bent, right leg extended, and turning the foot into 11 o'clock. So that when you push into the outside of the foot, it's blocking. Remember that this foot wants to always be in line with the inner knee of the bent leg. Hips facing forward. Feel your hip pressing against the wall. We want to keep that connection. And now, inhale the arms up, Urvasasana. Palms together, cross the thumbs and re-lift. Tailbone forward. Inhale. And exhale, Parigasana. Push the outer thigh, the outer hip against the wall to help you to stretch even more dynamically away from the wall. Keep gripping the front thigh, the straight leg up so the femur bone is well integrated. And with each exhale, turning and twisting, make your arms like arrows. And 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Inhaling up. And exhale, releasing. Excellent. Let's change sides. Last time, last side. The right knee is bent now. The left leg is coming out. Get right in with this leg so the outer hip, the outer thigh feels the wall. Extend this left leg and turn it in so that it's about 1 or 2 o'clock. Push into the outside edge of the foot, grip the leg, hips are facing forward, tailbone forward. And here we go. Lifting, Urdhva. Palms together, cross one thumb over the other, press that hip against the wall in preparation, re-lift with the inhale, and exhale, Parigasana. Keep pushing the outer thigh, the outer hip against the wall, so that the wall can push back at you and help you to charge further away, to really stretch, to maximize that. And now with each exhale, start turning the chest open to the sky, turning the back ribs in. Grip that extended left leg. And 5, and 4, give it your all. And 3, and 2, and 1. Inhaling up. And exhale. And releasing. Ah, beautiful. Nothing quite like Parigasanas really. They just get into long forgotten areas. Okay, we are coming back to our mat, and this practice B, from now on is about the feet, the ankle, the knees, and the shoulders. So we're starting with a cycle that you know, Vajrasana cycle. Meeting back with blankets, 2 straps for the Vajrasana cycle. Vajrasana cycle. This blanket here is not necessary. I put it for comfort, for those of you who are a little tender in your shins and knees and would like to know how to make it more comfortable. This is the necessary blanket, and these are the 2 necessary straps. So let's go ahead and get that first strap on us. Tightening up so that the buckle is between the knees. And then the second strap. And this goes around our ankles, as you remember from all those classes ago. And tightening up. And then our blanket with a neat edge facing the backs of the knees. Placing it really in between the backs of the knees for space. And coming to sit. Widening the buttocks apart. Elbows back. Soft, smooth inhalations and soft, smooth exhalations. Face re-relaxing. All of the muscles of the back flowing down the back. The neck long. And now coming to Padmatasana in Vajrasana, stretching the arms forward, interlocking the fingers, turning the palms out, squeezing the elbows, and inhale and lifting up. Make sure to not arch the lower back, so move the tailbone forward And lift the arms to help the pubic bone and the belly button feel that they're lifting in and up, in and up, in and up. Try to move the upper arms behind the ears to better open the armpits. And now we're going to turn and twist to the right. Parsvatasana in Vajrasana. Inhale. And exhale, turning and twisting. So it gets harder to have the arms behind the ears when we twist. And we tend to close the chest down a little bit. So really make sure the shoulder blades are going down the back. The center of the chest is lifting. And the exhale is helping us to twist. And 3, and 2, and 1. Back to the middle. Restretch the arms. Turning and twisting to the left with the exhale. Keep pressing the front thighs down. And from that downwardness, we find an anti-gravitational lift. The arms helping us. All the muscles of the back flowing down the back, but the front spine lifting, the cellular chest lifting, the exhale twisting. And 3, and 2, and 1. Back to the middle. And exhale, and releasing, Vajrasana. With the exhale, have the trapezius muscles flow down the back. Feel the sides of the neck getting longer. Make sure the lower back isn't arching. And coming for the other side. So relift the arms up, change the interlock of the fingers. Turn the palms out, squeeze the elbows straight. And lifting up, Parsvatasana in Vajrasana. Press the front thighs down. And lift the arms up from that downwardness. Now lift the chin up a little bit to help lift the cellular chest higher. That's it. Reaching up. And 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. We're going to turn and twist to the right. With that lift without shortening anything. Pressing the front thighs down. Vaulting the outer hips together for stability. Twisting, turning. Twist from the thoracic spine. That's it. Turn and twist. Twist the waist. Squeeze the elbows. And 3, and 2, and 1. Back to the middle. Preparing to twist to the left-hand side with the exhale. Repress the shins down, the front thighs down. Bolt the outer hips again. Make sure the arms haven't moved forward. Pull them back. Lift the chest. Re-squeeze your elbows. Each exhale helping you to twist more. To your maximum. Everywhere twisting this. And length. And 2. That's it. And 1. Back to the middle. And exhale, releasing. Vajrasana. Immediately with the exhale, have the trapezius muscles flow down the back. Feel the neck free up, the face relax. Soft, smooth inhalations and exhalations. And coming forward to Yoga Mudrasana. Holding our ribs to give them a little extra lift and broadness as we come forward. Placing them on the thighs as much towards the knees as possible so that our abdominal cavity is as spacious as possible. Fingertips down, forearms lifting. Look at your inner elbows and roll the upper arms of the inner elbows face the sky, the shoulders stay broad. And then lowering the head so the ears are in line with the inner arms. If it hurts your neck to hold the head like this, of course take a block and put the block underneath the forehead. Or if on days where you're tired or your brain is really stressed out, having a block underneath the forehead is very pacifying for the brain. And in the meantime, keep stretching the arms forward and cutting the outer thighs down to the ground. The buttocks grounding to the ground. And now bringing the forehead to the floor and the arms by the side of the body, child's pose. With an exhalation, let everything melt to the ground. And now bring the hands behind Interlock the fingers together and lift the arms up and over. Getting into those shoulders is always hard work, physically and mentally. So much is stored there. And if you're having a hard time holding the hands together because the shoulders are tight, you can always make a little loop with your third strap if you have one, and put it around the wrists. You just put your hands through and the strap will help hold the arms up there. And now we're bringing the arms to the right. So first we need to move the abdominal area to the left. So we're lifting the forehead up, moving the abdomen to the left, bringing the forehead back down to the mat, and bringing the arms over to the right. That bottom arm has to be active. It has to keep inviting, with a kind of pulling action, that left arm across and over. Deepen the breath and diffuse the breath everywhere. Keep relaxing the jaw, the face. And then bringing the arms back up. Now let's move the abdomen to the right, forehead back to the mat, arms to the left. And that bottom arm is pulling the top arm over consistently. Keep trying to roll the front shoulders back. And let the breath be deep and soothing, helping to melt that resistance, that crustiness that's built up over time. And then bringing the arms back up. Now remember which interlock you have, which index finger is over the other index finger. Just imprint that and then release the hands down to the mat. Rolling up. Vajrasana. Coming now to Gomukhasana with the arms. So if you think that the shoulders are tight enough that you might need an extra strap, you can use the extra strap on this front strap. The left arm is going to come behind us, bringing the hand up as high as we can, the dorsal hand pressing it against the dorsal spine. And then this arm is lifting up, preparing, elbow lifting, and trying to join fingertips, hands, or, if needed, taking the strap. And here we are in Gomukhasana. Let the exhale remind all of the back body to flow downwards continually. And let that bottom arm, the left arm, be pulling the top hand. Keep trying to scoop the outer right elbow, the top arm. Keep trying to scoop the outer right elbow in so that it's not doing this action. Scooping it in. And then exhale, releasing, unfolding, Vajrasana. Changing sides. So if you need the strap, move it across. And now the right arm comes behind. You can always use the left hand to help get it there, to help get it a little higher than you thought possible. The left arm comes up, bending, holding the shoulder, scooping the outer elbow in as we lift the arm up, and then seeing what we can get. And here we are in Gomukhasana. Soft, smooth inhalations and exhalations. And each exhale is reminding the back body to flow downwards. The bottom hand is pulling the top hand down. And we're trying to scoop the outer left elbow in so that it's not going to the side. The face passive. The eyes receding. Our presence alert everywhere. And then exhale. And releasing Vajrasana.
Coming forward again to child's pose for our second round of shoulder openers.
So remembering where our index fingers were and shifting that, so changing the interlock and lifting the arms back up. Relax the jaw. Let the breath penetrate everywhere. Keep rolling the front shoulders up to the sky. We're bringing the arms to the right, the abdomen to the left. So moving the abdomen, forehead back down to the ground, arms coming over to the right and reconnecting with our smooth and even breath cycles. The bottom arm, consistently pulling the top arm across and over. And then bringing the arms back to the middle. Hooray, almost finished. So moving the abdomen to the right, forehead to the mat, and arms over to the left. Try to roll those front shoulders back. Reconnect with the breath, which helps us to stay expansive in our presence, to not get locked into one area. The bottom arm still pulling the top arm across. And then bringing the arms back up. And exhale, releasing, melting into the ground. Before rolling up one vertebrae at a time and being in Vajrasana. And I'm sure you're going to be very happy to take those straps off, which is what we're going to do. So moving the blanket. It is normal if your feet get numb. Don't think that you're the only person it's happening to. My feet are a little numb now, but all that blood is going to come back in. And our next pose is the Virasana cycle. So we did Supta Virasana in our first practice, and now we're going to do the whole Virasana cycle. So we're going to need straps, we might need a block, we might need a bolster or some cushions from around your house to make a bolster, or some blankets rolled up to make a bolster. And gathering all that stuff, let's meet back on the mat. This is our setup for the first part of our Virasana cycle, and then when we come to the Supta Virasana part at the end, we'll turn the bolster like it was yesterday or in practice A, so that it mirrors the length of the spine. If you don't have bolsters, don't worry, be inventive. We all have bed pillows and you can pile them up one on top of each other to get the height that is needed. Okay, I've got the block here for those of you who like to sit on a block rather than the floor due to knee stuff, so I'll show both, and let's come into Virasana. Our strap is going to come over our knees again, like Vajrasana. And we're tightening up and in, but the feet are apart. So let me place the block here for those who like the block, so we can go right into that and I can move it afterwards. Okay, first and most important action is to pull the calves back and out. This keeps the back of the knees safe as we come down to sit on our block or to sit on the floor. And then we pull the feet in, so they're still on the outer hips, but we're really on the dorsal part of the foot. And we're pressing the outer skirting of the feet from here to here, down into the mat. Roll the front shoulders back, chest lifting. And now widen the sit bones apart, dorsal part of the hands on the thighs. And here we are in Virasana. You can have the block or don't have the block. Move it as the knees and feet open. Okay, arms in front, interlock the fingers, turn the palms out. Paschimottanasana in Virasana. Pressing the front thighs down, pressing the sit bones down, and from there lengthening the spine, really feeling even spaciousness between each of the vertebrae. So you want to start your awareness at the bottom of the spine and climb up as the arms extend, bring that spaciousness. And now with an exhale, turning and twisting to the right, Parsvatasana in Vajrasana. And trying to move the right shoulder blade to the left, see how that helps the back ribs turn more. Keep pressing the sit bones down evenly and lifting the spine up from there, using the exhale to twist, to spiral. And 3, and 2, and 1. Back to the middle, re-stretch. And exhale, turning and twisting to the left. Pay attention to the sit bones, press them down evenly, and from there, lengthen the spine, space between each of the vertebrae. The arms coming back behind the ears, the exhale turning and twisting. Move the left shoulder blade to the right, feel the back ribs turn and twist with you. And 3, squeeze the elbows. And 2, and 1, back to the middle. And exhale, remember the interlock, and releasing Virasana. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation. And yes, we have to do the other side. I told you this was knees, ankles and shoulders. So I'm going to move the block for those of you who are ready to be on the floor. Pulling the calves back and out a second time. Widening the sit bones. Alright, arms extended, change the interlock, turn the palms out. And lifting up, Parsvatasana in Virasana. Press the front thighs down, press the sit bones down. Don't let them lift up with the arm action. Always has to be that grounding principle to each pose from which the inner body extends with more intensity and more freedom. That's it, preparing now to turn and twist to the right, Parsvatasana in Virasana. Inhale and exhale. That's it, lifting up. Good. Now press the front thighs down, press the sit bones down. Reconstruct that spaciousness in the spine, from the base of the spine, going upwards like you're sipping up a straw. That's it, and turning and twisting. The right shoulder blade to the left, the back ribs turning. And 2, so hard area to open. Keep persisting. And 1, back to the middle. Re-stretch, just last time, last side. Inhale. And exhale, twist. Press the front thighs down. Sit bones down. Reconstruct the spaciousness between each of your vertebrae. Lengthening up, sifting up the spine. And turn and twist again. Left shoulder blade to the right. Get those back ribs to start feeling themselves and to move, to twist. And 2, pull the arms back, stretch the elbows. And 1, turn back to the front. And exhale the arms down. And releasing. Virasana. Relax the face, lift the chest, elbows back. And it is now time for a completely new pose for you. It's called Asana, and this is what this bolster is here for. It's basically a mini back bend where we're learning to arch the upper back, not the lower back. So we are going to lie down backwards, and we want this bolster to be on the thoracic spine and the dorsal spine, no lower, so you'll have to adjust as needed. So let's go ahead and come halfway down, tilting the pelvis, coming down onto our elbows. And now we feel, does the bolster feel to be in the right place? Testing it out, coming down, tilting the pelvis again, so the buttocks are moving towards the front of the knees.
The head's coming back, the crown of the head on the floor. If it doesn't reach, you can double this blanket so that the floor comes up to the head. And now we're going to stretch the arms back. Make sure they're parallel, the palms facing each other. And then exhale, bend the elbows and hold on to the upper arms, just like hanging Uttanasana, but we're in Sarvangasana.
Soft, smooth inhalations and exhalations. Keep pressing the front thighs down and keep the buttocks on the floor. With your hands pulling the elbows back to the wall behind you and down to the mat behind you so that you can better find the shoulder blades and press them up and get them to learn to penetrate so they don't stick out anymore. You penetrate, you push them up, and you feel the front ribs opening in a new way. In all of this, keep the front face receding, the back ribs pressing up, the chest opening more and more, and filling that space with the inhalation. Feeling that new broadness. And now we're going to release the upper arms, stretch the arms back again, and change the cross of the arms because we have the other side to do. Pulling the elbow tips back to the wall behind you and down to the mat as you press those shoulder blades up. And now try to find the ribs right underneath the shoulder blades and press them up too. Relax the jaw, relax the face. Keep the breath as smooth and even as possible. And keep pressing the front thighs down and pressing the buttocks down. Inviting new shapes here into the way that we hold ourselves. And then releasing the arms, stretching the arms back one last time. And then bringing the arms to the bolster, the elbows pressed down as we slowly lift up. Resting here, connecting the belly button to the lower back. Coming back up. And now lifting the hips up, moving the buttocks back and widening the sit bones again. And it is now time for Supta Virasana. So you don't need to come out of the pose. You just reach back to that blanket like double fold. Turn the bolster around behind you so that it's lined up with your spine. And if you're not using bolster, you're coming straight onto the floor, moving aside. And if you're doing half Virasana, you are coming out of the pose and you're bending the right leg first. So wherever you are, we're in some form of Supta Virasana. And let's exhale down. Lifting the hips, creating that pelvic tilt, whether you're doing both legs or one leg. And coming down. Pulling the blanket in if we're on a bolster. Re-tilting the pelvis one more time so it doesn't forget itself. And then bringing the arms up, bending the elbows, and bringing the arms over. Supta Virasana. Long, deep, soft inhalations. Long, deep, soft exhalations. The hands, of course, are pulling those elbow tips back. Feel the armpit chest opening. And try to examine whether one armpit opens more than the other, and which one is smaller. And how could you bring more of the inhale to the one that's a little smaller to get the cells ignited and awakened there? Press the front thighs down, keeping that perspective of grounding down in one part of the pose in order to get more length, lift and freedom from that. Now if you were doing Ardha Virasana, as in one leg Virasana, you're going to slowly come up and change legs, bringing the left leg into Virasana, making sure to move the calf back and out, and lying back down to join us here. And we are going to stretch our arms up and change the cross of the arms and bring the arms over. If ever your shoulders have issues and it hurts to bring the arms over like this, you can always put a little bit more blanket height. So for instance, they might be like this, but supported. You don't want to be in a place of strain. Because when there's support, then the body's going to be more trusting to open through that which makes it fearful. Soft, smooth, deep inhalations and exhalations. The back muscles are still flowing down the back, and the hands are still pulling the elbow tips backwards, connecting with those armpit chests and trying to even out their openness, their brightness, their livingness. And we're going to prepare to come up now. So releasing our arms, coming up one step at a time and connecting our belly button to the lower back. As we come up, freeing our buttocks and moving them back. Alright, those of you who are in Ardha, half pose, come back into full pose so that we can all do Yoga Mudrasana together. Just like in Vajrasana, we widen the knees apart, but we do stay in Virasana as much as possible. It gets harder as we come forward to keep the sit bones connected to the ground. So here we go. Inhale and exhaling. Stretching the arms forward, lowering the head so the back of the neck is long. Each inhale lengthening us forward and each exhale grounding us back. The heads of the femur bones coming into the hip sockets. The face completely passive. And then walking the hands back in. And coming out, and we'll be oh so happy to turn our toes under. Feet nice and parallel, just let the strap slide off. Drop the head right down. Re-grip the knees up with the thighs, so integrate all the openings we brought to those joints back in through compactness. And then coming back down. Well, that was our Vajrasana cycle, our Virasana cycle, and now we are moving into our Sirsasana, headstand. So, finding your wall, moving your mat, your blanket in, and let's meet back there. Are you ready? So remember, patience with Sirsasana. When you're in Sirsasana, check in with the crown of your head, here. It's so common for people to really be putting their pose from here because you feel that you're stronger from there, but actually you end up straining the neck. So you're tucking the chin in a little bit so you're really on the crown of the head. And if you get tired, come down, rest in Yoga Mudrasana, and then come back up. Once you come down 3 times, it means you need to be in Yoga Mudrasana and just rest. You don't want to go past that edge. That's your body telling you enough. And on the following day, you'll be able to do a little bit more. Okay, and remember, if you're menstruating, Supta Virasana. So your bolster, Virasana, blocks under the outside edges of the thighs. All right, let's enter. So extending the arms and turning them so the inner elbows face the sky. Bringing the hands to the shoulders and scooping the outer elbows in. And bringing that to the edge of our blanket, or if you folded up a mat like me, to the edge of the mat. Forearms down and connecting with the outer wrist very firmly as we interlock the fingers, thumbs touching. Press the entire forearm down, including the outer edge of the wrist, firmly, and lift the shoulders up. Bringing the crown of the head to the floor. Re-press down and re-lift the shoulders up. Turn the toes under and straighten the legs and keep the forearms firm and the shoulders lifting up. Walking the feet in. And if or when you feel ready, let's come to Sirsasana, stage 1. Bending the knees. Press down into the outer wrists and lift the shoulders up. Draw the lats in. Sirsasana, stage 2. Bringing the knees up towards the sky. And here we feel great because our feet find the wall. Connect with the forearms again. Lift the trapezius muscles up, the shoulders up. And now extending the legs until the legs are straight and the heels are pressing against the wall, the inner feet lined up. Finding your breath, establishing an even, smooth breath cycle that energizes and calms the system at the same time and helps your attention to be everywhere. As the breath diffuses through the inner body, mind follows, more is felt. Keep those heels firm and don't let the buttocks hang. When the buttocks are hanging, the lower back becomes fragilized. Try to instead move the middle buttocks forward and move the front thighs back as you lengthen the legs and feel the heels become firmer, keeping the integrity of the hips, the sacrum, and the lower back area. Keep pressing the forearms down, lifting the shoulders up, checking that you're not taking the effort in your face. If you're feeling ready to test out the feet away from the wall, you do one leg at a time. So, for instance, keep the left heel pressed firmly to the wall, the left leg active, and slowly move the right heel away from the wall so that the right leg is more perpendicular to the ground. And just feel that. And press the forearms down and lift the shoulders up again. Make sure you're still on the crown of the head. And then bringing the right heel back to the wall. Don't let the buttocks hang or collapse. Let's see what that feels like on the other side. Keep the right heel firm and move the left heel away from the wall. Charging both legs. Pressing down into the outer wrist and the elbows and lifting the trapezius muscles up again. Drawing the lats in. Making the upper back feel its importance. Learning how to use it to help hold us there without strain on the neck or the head. And then bringing the left heel back to the wall. Keep moving the middle buttocks forward, squeezing the inner knee to the outer knee, the outer knee to the inner knee. The heels firm, lifting the shoulders up. And 3, and 2, and 1. Let's bend our knees and find Sirsasana stage 2. Press down into the forearms, re-lift the trapezius muscles up. And let's bring the feet away from the wall. Coming to stage 1. And then unfolding the legs, feet to the ground. And finding Yoga Mudrasana in Virasana. The upper arms rolling away from each other, the palms facing each other. And lowering the head down so the sides of the neck are even and the back of the neck is long. and welcome back. Notice the difference in the brain after Sirsasana. It's an incredible pose for the brain. And it's now time for our Sarvangasana cycle. So Sarvangasana cycle means shoulder stand and cow pose. So let's take all of our stuff and meet back on the mat. And I forgot to say this in last class, but I wrote it at the bottom, but I'll say it today. If you're not doing Sarvangasana because you're menstruating, you're doing Supta Virasana, where you are lying down on the mat with a strap, a little loop, lifting the right leg and out to the side and back, drawing it in, releasing, no twisting, and then going to the left side, back and forth, doing that whilst we're in Savasana, Halasana cycle. Okay, meeting back on the mat with all our stuff. Okay, having our loop ready for our arms and coming in. Rolling up, placing the arms through the strap, interlocking the fingers and rolling each of our shoulders back several times before releasing the hands, bending the elbows and placing the hands on the back. Ready to come through stage one, bending the knees, the heels to the buttocks. And then stage two, lifting the knees towards the sky. The hands can really connect with the back now. And then straightening the legs and finding Sarvangasana. See if you can get the hands higher up the back from all those shoulder openings we did today. Feel how the strap is helping our outer elbows to scoop in towards each other. So go with that action. Igniting that new intelligence in the elbow area. Keep drawing the outer elbows in towards each other. Get the hands even higher up the back. And press those back ribs in and up. Check that your front shoulders aren't hunching up to the ears. Try to clear them back. And check that the buttocks aren't hanging. Just like Sirsasana, we want that same firmness in the back buttocks and the back of the thighs and the heels. So push the middle buttocks forward and iron the front thighs to the thigh bones. Reaching up with our feet to the ceiling as if they were hands. Squeeze the inner knees to the outer knees, the outer knees to the inner knees. Sharpen the ankles. Lift up higher. Feel your back lungs breathing underneath the hands. And now coming down through our stages. Through stage two, bringing the heels to the buttocks. Through stage one, bringing the knees towards the face. Unfolding the legs. Straps off the arms and preparing for Halasana by interlocking the fingers, rolling each shoulder back again, and pressing the arms down and pressing the front thighs up. Soft, smooth inhalations and exhalations.
Because we're in a particular shape of this pose, the breath has to be imaginative. When we inhale, we have to find ways to inhale into other areas, to fill the back lungs, the side lungs with that pranic inhale. Keep pressing those arms down so that we can better lift up from that. And now let's change the interlock of our fingers behind the back. Second side of Asana. Re-rolling each shoulder back. Elongate the back neck. Let the chin come towards the throat. Press into the feet. Push the front thighs up. Feel the knees get straighter, sharper. Keep pressing the arms down and pressing the back ribs in and up. So even here in this upside down pose, the muscles of the back are flowing towards the hips. Follow the breath and observe where it feels different on the inhale. Where is that inhale going? Try to distribute it evenly in the back lungs and the side lungs. Keep pushing the sit bones to the sky, rolling the thighs in so the inner groins are moving to the sky. Think Uttanasana legs. And now releasing the interlock, allowing our knees to bend. And we're gently coming out of our Sarvangasana, moving ourselves backwards and resting here. We relax the shoulders from all effort. We relax the face from all effort. Just allow ourselves to melt into the ground. And now rolling over to the right, pushing ourselves back up. And it is now time for Setu, bandha, Savasana. So no mat, the wall, 2 blocks and a strap, meeting back there. We've got our blocks, we've got our strap, and we're ready to come into Setu, bandha, Savasana. Putting the legs through that loop, buckle in the middle and tightening up, coming to lie down, choosing the height that we're working with, lifting the hips up, and placing the block underneath the tailbone, right in the middle, and then heels back down to the ground, interlocking the fingers behind the block. And here we are in Ardha Setu, bandha, Savasana. Don't turn your head to the side. Keep the sides of the neck even, the back of the neck long. So now we have the option to come into full pose or to stay here. Everything depends on the vehicle that you're in today, right now. If we are going to full pose, we're going to lift the right leg up and lift the left leg up, find the wall, lower the feet so the heels find the block. And then making sure that our hands are holding the block underneath the tailbone so that when we push into the feet to straighten the legs, we can slide back, pulling that block with us. And then re-rolling the shoulders back, making sure the legs are straight, the inner feet lined up with each other. The arms pressing down and the back ribs pressing up. And with each inhale, exaggerating that beautiful sensation of opening that we can feel right underneath the breasts and also with the ribs underneath the nipple area. Each inhale, lifting that area, broadening, so that the ribs are widening apart from each other. Don't let the buttocks hang. It's very normal that in the beginning we do. We sort of feel like the block is there to do the job for us. But actually the block is there to ignite greater awareness in that area and our tendencies. If your tendency is lower back pain, 90% sure you're dropping your buttocks right now. So find the middle buttocks and push them up to the sky as you press down into your feet or into your heels. Now keep that firmness and let's change the interlock of our fingers. Rolling the shoulders back again, back armpit coming to the front armpit, pressing the arms down and pressing the back ribs up. And then checking in with our hips again and our buttocks. What's happened there? Do they need a little bit of redirection, recontraction, the front thighs pressing down. Soften the front throat to be sure that you're not resisting with the back of the skull. Find the shoulder blades. Press the shoulder blades up. Find the ribs underneath the shoulder blades. Press those ribs up. And now with each inhale, try to accentuate the sensation of the ribs underneath the breast and the ribs underneath the nipple area, broadening, widening, lifting off the lungs, maximizing the opening of the inner body. Diffuse the gaze of the eyes. As much as the cellular chest is lifting, the eyes are receding to the back skull. And preparing to come out. So if your legs were straight, you're going to bend your legs and place the feet on the floor, the feet nice and parallel. And now we're lifting the hips up 3 times. So press down, lift up once, come back down, lift up twice, come back down, and on the 3rd time, move the block, and on your way down, hold your hips with your hands and tilt the pelvis gently so that each vertebrae connects to the ground. And we can take the strap off the legs now and come to a very gentle version of Supta Virasana. By gentle, I mean that the aim after the last pose is not to curl the spine in order to bring the knees towards the chest. The aim is to use the wisdom of the earth beneath our spine to create more length, to be aware of where we're shortening, where we're arching or pressing down too much. And with each breath, just adding a little more spaciousness to those areas and a little bit more even connection to the ground. And then releasing our legs in order to roll over and up. Always coming out of this with Yoga in Sirsasana, so right ankle crossing front of the left. Inhale and exhaling forward. Stretch the arms. Let all the muscles of the back flow down the back. Walk the hands forward a little bit more. Ground the hips to the earth. And then coming back up, changing the cross of the ankles. Inhale and exhaling forward, fingertips to the floor. Exhaling the head down, Yoga Mudrasana in Sukhasana. Keep lifting the belly button up so that inside the abdomen is supporting the inside of the lower back, that they're meshing together even though we're coming forward.
And coming back up. And it is now time for a very well-deserved Savasana. So gathering our various Savasanic yoga props, mat, blanket, and let's come and restore in Savasana. Let's continue with the rolling of these extra blankets, like a mini kind of bolster underneath the knees. I think that in the training of Setu, bandha, Savasana, which we've added into this module, it's really nice to have the lower back be absolutely supported in its restingness in Savasana. Moving the buttocks towards the bolster. Extending the arms, rolling each of those shoulders back and tucking the shoulder blades up and down the back. And now that we're completely ready, relaxing the face, relaxing the forehead, relaxing the temples, and with an exhalation, closing the eyes. And allowing ourselves to completely sink against the ground. No more lifting upwards, no more effort anywhere. Just a sinking against our supports, a melting, a deep unclenching everywhere. Resting here in Savasana.
Loka Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. When we feel ready, rolling over onto the right hand side of the body. And then when we feel ready, pushing ourselves back up to sitting. Coming back into this dimension with all of the depth of that dimension. Welcome back. Our practice is complete. So remembering to print out the practice sheets and integrating the details that I'm sharing and then making the practice your own so that you can adapt it to available time in your day. The timings are below so you can follow those. Happy practicing. Namaste. Take good care.